Hey, what is going on, YouTube friends and family? You guys are probably looking around and going, where are you? And yeah, exactly, where are we? We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. This is a place where we come to do some really quick zeros on a rifle where my brother is staying. And sometimes we fire a crossbow down here. Sometimes we just like to shoot like old Xboxes with shotguns before they go to the recycle. Anyway, we were thinking, actually, what happened was we went to this surplus store and we're digging through like the value bins, and we found some old expired, like really old expired vests that we don't know what system it came out of, whatever, but they were in there, and we're like, those are cool. What happens to them like when they expire? Because we know that like Kevlar basically is just tightly woven layers of string, right? And so the fact that they're so tight and there's multiple layers is what protects you or somebody, law enforcement, whatever, against a threat. And the level 2s are supposed to be protective up to including like 44 Magnum, 9mm submachine guns, pistol, as well as obviously stabbing or slashing protection. But once they're expired, like what happens? The material falls apart and it's no longer good? We don't know. So we said, we have some firearms, we have some like garbage vests, let's try them out. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try them out for you guys. We wanna see what, we have a guess, and I'll talk about it afterwards, but we wanna see what penetrates it because it is mostly rated for like handgun protection. So we have HMR 17 firing the mighty 20 grain projectiles, full metal jacket. These are screaming down range though, 2375, I think, feet per second. I don't think those are gonna penetrate, personally. I'll be surprised if they do, but I don't think they're going to. We have 22 long rifle in a 30 grain, I believe. And these are just, you know, like the cheap kind of federal bulk stuff that you can buy. These are probably going like 1500 feet per second, give or take. So not a screaming round, but you know, it's still 22. It's still heavier than 17 HMR. Then we have 22 Magnum. These are going about 1800 feet per second, and these are 38 grain. So a little bit bigger caliber, right? Almost up to a 223. We have a 9mm carbine. These are shooting the typical like 147 grain, pretty slow pistol, 9mm Luger. So, but this is a carbine that has an 18-inch barrel on it, so it might generate a little bit more speed, but probably down around the 1500, 1400, 1500 feet per second. We have a 223 that we're going to shoot some of your typical Winchester M193 bulk ammo, 55 grain, and that's probably up in the 1800 feet per second range.
That's the 243.
That's the 243.
We didn't
load up to 223 yet. Anyway, that's what we're shooting. So we're going to shoot some of that bulk 55 grain full metal jacket. Then we have the 243. So you can see like that's got a little bit more powder in the cartridge, a little bit bigger diameter projectile. And then last but not least, we have a 7.62 39, the mighty Ruger Ranch, and I am shooting a 124 grain, I think it is. It's just full metal jacket stuff, so it's I think 1700 feet per second. It's not a very fast round. The cartridge itself is not very long. So I think that the 223 is going to pierce. My brother is behind the camera. What do you think?
With expired, the 223 is definitely going to punch a hole, probably right through the wood and out through the other side. And the 9mm might even give it a run for its money.
Okay.
The 22 Magnum might even pierce because it's so small.
I think it's going to stop everything. Even the fact that it's expired is going to stop everything. Then the 223 is going to start, and then everything after the 223 I think is going to go through. So that's what we're going to do.
The 243 with the soft point may not. There might be enough there for it to mushroom on the material.
It's going pretty. It's pretty pointy though. Well, we'll see. It's pretty interesting. So we've got the you know, you'll see it, but we have the vest kind of draped over a pallet at the end of this, and we're in a very safe environment. This is on private property. There's hills and mountains in the background. There's a lake on our left. there's no risk of ricochet. We're firing into a sand hole basically in the side, and you'll see it when we set up down there, because after we shoot the smaller calibers, we're going to go down and check. We'll take you with us, and then we're going to come back and set for the higher calibers, and we'll leave the camera down there so you guys will get a better view and will know before us if it went through or if it just like beats the heck out of the board, because the kinetic energy that some of these rounds are going to carry, it is, although it may be stopped by the vest has to give, right? It has to let some of that energy escape somewhere. So there's, I mean, if you were wearing it, it would hurt. Let's put it that way. Anyway, that's what we're gonna do, and it should be fun. Man, there's so many dandelions floating around there. It's almost... That's a really light trigger.
It is.
Okay. I will put it on safe, but so top right for 22. No idea where that went.
We shall find out soon.
Indeed. This one is another one. I don't know where this is going to shoot. I have no idea.
Well, we just put the scope on, so...
Funny story. The last time I shot this 22 Magnum, actually it was my son shooting it, and the scope fell off. So, let's hope that doesn't happen again. This is an old Marlin, by the way, like really old. And typically it shoots really well. But we don't know where the zoom, zero is going to be, so we're kind of hoping for the best. Okay, this will be center target, which is probably not a bad idea based on the fact that I don't know where it's going to go. Remember, kids, safety first. Similar story, last time I shot this, I had some loose screws on my mount, so we'll see. And I think I said 147, I think this is 124 grain. Oh boy. Well, bottom left. Let's see what happens. .22 landed here, did not go through, but you can feel it in the back, which is kind of cool. 22 Magnum we shot here, didn't know where it went, so we shot again, very close up, and like from 10 yards, and it's still an inch high. So anyway, 22 Mag did not go through. 9 mil didn't go through either, and it's kind of cool because like I can feel it. I wonder if I can grab it. Oh yeah, it's like really nicely mushroomed out. I don't think I can work it loose though, because it's kind of between. But anyways, we're gonna go back and shoot some high powered now, and we're gonna leave you guys here so you can watch the impact of the, well, high powered. We're shooting 223, which I think is gonna blow right through. I mean, the 17 did.
Show the holes, like the piece of wood was underneath. Show them the piece of wood.
Yeah. So if you, this is how we kind of found where the bullets landed. But you know, that was the 17 HMR, and this one here was the
22. That was the 22.
Yeah, but this one didn't. The round didn't go through. It just dented it. It just pushed it out. It just made such a small impact that it, like, because this is not actual wood, this is kind of like that chipboard stuff. So it just pushed the stuff out, but yeah, it's pretty neat. So the 9mm round landed down here, and if you can see that, and we'll dig it out afterwards because it's pretty neat. But anyway, 9mm, even on expired. So now what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna go back and we're gonna shoot bigger rounds. And like I said, we'll leave you here. So that'll be fun for you. You can see the impact on the vest. So tell us what happened and how cool it was. And we'll see how it likes this. Oh.
Take two.
Huh?
Take two. Get up when I'm talking to you.
Yeah, look. By the way, this thing works really well. A little fussy on ammo sometimes. Did have a squib at one point, but no issues since then. And I mean, it's, you know, it's fun. And these are not cheap, by the way, folks.
The big reveal? What kind of
Yeah,
damage?
dun, dun, dun. Good grouping. You can see like the dark spot on the vest. I mean, it beat up the wood. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it eventually worked its way through. But
Yeah. So I had the two vests that we shot at, and it's really interesting. Like, I knew that the high-powered rifle would go like straight through. You can watch on the video; you'll see the vest just moved slightly. But what I was more interested about is like just putting a bunch of 22 in the same area. And my brother did a pretty good job on the tight grouping, and you could just see it. Like, you know, at first, I'm sure it's stopping them, but there's, you know, we're getting like, you know, wood shrapnel and stuff like that, so it's pushing wood right through it. But I just want to take the inner out of here and take a look at the inside of it, because, again, like that's what it looks like from the inside, and then on the inside of the back, I don't want to make too much mess. He's in the process of moving, so he's got like boxes everywhere and stuff. So anyway, that's like wood and chipboard and stuff like that all over the place. And then you can see, like on the front of the vest, it looks fine. Back of the vest, yeah, these would be bad. See the ones that like go through like that, but that's mostly high power rifle, like 223, and 223 and the 7.62x39. I don't even think it's slowed down, but Kevlar in itself is a very interesting material in that, like, the weave on it, it almost feels like rubberized, and it's just layers and layers and layers and layers, and you have like this, and it's just multiple layers of Kevlar like sewn together. And of course, as you go up in the protection itself level, like these are only the twos as I mentioned, you get more layers and so on and so on. But you can see like these ones here, it didn't even disrupt, whereas when you're getting on like the last layer and it actually, you know, has some stoppage, you'll see that it's, you know, it pushes it around, it deforms the material on the patch itself. I have no idea what that is. Probably some kind of manufacturer's tag. We didn't put it in there. But then every now and then you find like one of these, just these little fellas. So you get an idea of like what happens. That is definitely 22. Because we were just using the very cheap 22 ammo. So I mean, it's completely mushroomed out. Completely mushroomed out. And you'll find like little pockets of them, and you can see the Kevlar that went through all the layers, and you'll see some of them like it's just cut and torn right through. So very interesting to see what it does to the Kevlar. And then you can see, like I said, where it's got all of its energy, and the Kevlar just basically slows it down because of the multiple layers, and hopefully eventually stops it. The good news is, if it didn't stop it, you probably wouldn't have to worry about it, if you want to call that good news. And we even did a couple where we're shooting a high power rifle, and we doubled up, as you saw, and it just did like just nothing. It just blew through. So it was pretty interesting though. But what I thought was really neat was when I shot the 9mm, again out of a carbine, so it's probably going a little bit faster than your standard pistol. And it did stop it initially, and then kind of the same thing as the 22. We just started piling up on it, and you're hitting a weakened spot in the Kevlar. It's already done its job once. It can't do the same job maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times. So you start to have penetration. We could start seeing, the wood. But just look at the thickness of that. And that's just because it basically deformed, pushed the Kevlar through. And I could feel them as I was feeling the vest. I could feel a couple of 9mm. So I'm hoping I can find one in here, just to show you how much they mushroom. But like, it's never a good indication when you see the Kevlar poking out the back. But you can see the odd shot, which is cool. This thing is just messed up. I can hear something in there. Yeah, ooh, perfect. So look at that. That is just like a nice little 9mm, 124 grain, full metal jack, or standard pistol, 9mm Luger, and it is just flattened completely. So the vest does the job, and that's what it does. It just slows it down to the point where it loses all its kinetic energy. But the kinetic energy, as you know, has to be transferred somewhere. So where does it go? It goes into the material of the vest. And same construction as, I can still hear like metal sliding around, which is kind of cool. Did I end up with any of these? Nope. Oh, there's another one. A little bit less. But, I mean, if you open up your vest and you find a bunch of, like these ones, it just got like, completely, there's another one. So, yeah, the vest does what it's supposed to do, which is to stop most of your handgun cartridges. And I mean, I didn't have any 44. I would have liked to shoot some 357 or 38 special or something like that with a little bit more oomph. But we are good law-abiding peoples, and we're not bringing pistols to an outdoor. There's still more in here. So if I peeled apart all these layers, like, yeah, and you can see the fragmentation a little bit here and there of probably just the jacket material, like in this Kevlar, whatever you want to call that, spaghetti. But I mean, if you look at the different layers, once you start separating them, you can see where like it absorbed. There you go. There's a perfect example. So a round hit that, and it never went through because it's not broken, but it just pulls it and pulls it until it slows it down to a stop. I mean, all of these little marks here. I mean, broken ribs? I don't know what would happen to you if and I don't want to know. Oh, yeah, there's some trap between the layers too. Just like an onion, you have so many layers. This particular vest, apparently, the Kevlar was put together by Honeywell. Just like layers and layers and layers, and it's got almost like a rubberized coating on it. There's another one. But I could see them eventually start to make their way through, and that's just because material can only do its job for so long. If you're going to sustain, like what did I put on that, the last, I think 13 rounds, all in the same area, as you can see by what I'm holding up. Look at that, there's a little pocket of, Kevlar is not the easiest thing. There, look at this. Some of these get really messed up, probably because they hit a piece or you know, a projectile that was already stuck in the vest. So these guys here just opened up and wrapped around. Oh yeah, look at this. There's like 2, maybe 3, all fused together. I only shot 13 at this particular vest in this area because I wanted to see, like, you know, not a mag dump, let's say, but, you know, just, and you're just going to find pieces and pieces, and that's fine because, like I said, the Kevlar is doing its job. So as you peel back the layers, you find less and less. And there's, like, you know, very early on, it got stopped very early on. There's just mushrooms out. And like I said, multiple little pieces here and there, fragments all over the place, to the point where you get to the, you know, the back of the vest, and you can only see, you know, there's a little bit less damage. There's like maybe 3 spots here that the material or the layers got disturbed. So pretty cool stuff. And answers another question too, because we're like, what happens, right? Like, it's expired. What does that mean? As opposed to the front of the vest. But normally, this is like extremely thin material, and now it is 3 times the size, let's say. And there's all kinds of little pieces falling out all over the place. But, you know, what happens to an expired vest? Well, it's not like, you know, a chunk of ham you put in your fridge. It goes expired and then it no longer will work. The material is what the material is, but it's built with a certain shelf life. And so over time, I would say that, you know, the manufacturer says, I'm less sure that this will actually do the job that it's made to do. Will it still work? Obviously it does. I mean, there's your proof, right? A handful of 9mm projectiles, all mushroomed out or broken apart. So yeah, it still works, but a level 2 does not work. And as we saw, like the 17 HMR went screaming right through it. It went through the pallet, and it went through the vest on the other side. So it went through 2 layers of this stuff. But that is a fast little round. The rest of the stuff, 7.62 by 39 went screaming through it, 243 went through it, but like the 22, yeah, you could get through it eventually. How many rounds? What was it, 40, 50 rounds? And I would say somewhere around the 20 round mark is when it started to go through. And then it's not made for that anyway. I mean, you're not supposed to put a vest and shoot at it like what we did. We did it because it was fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed that too. Please go ahead, click that like, subscribe, please. Drop in the comments what you think. Like, if you find these, you know, in the surplus store and you want to keep them for whatever reason, preparedness, you know what I'm talking about. It'll still work. It's better than nothing, right? So. Take care. We'll see you next time.